notification of next of kin. Then we also have for parastatals, what we need when we want to issue your clearance letter, we need your letter of introduction. So, and then also your computation sheet, and then your PFA statement of account. This was basically needed for those that work with the parastatals. So before they issue clearance letters for parastatals will forward letters of introduction of every retiree to us here in Laspec, stating the date of appointment and retirement. So, and also evidence of all pension benefits would have been paid into the RSA. That is your RSA statement of account. You show that your money has been paid and everything is complete. Then because
we've thoroughly enjoyed this seminar. Yes or no?
Yes.
I also believe that we have been able to assimilate as much as we can. And by the time we leave this hall today, we are now really refreshed and renewed in the pension updates on the operations of the contributing pension scheme. Yes or no?
Yes.
Let's give ourselves a big round of applause. Although we're already looking tired. Are we? No? Okay, because I can't really hear our response. That's why. And I believe that we are all still rearing to go in the system. Or are we retired?
No.
It will definitely come one day. You are too young. Okay now. But let's share something. It's better to be preparing now. Start preparing for retirement from now, because it will just creep up on you like a thief in the night. You just wake up one day and realize that I'm retiring in 6 months' time. That is the reason why we should start preparing now so that it does not catch us unawares. Let's start saving towards retirement. Let's start looking at what we can do in retirement. And it is better we start it from now instead of that time. Because what you start now, by the time you retire, would have been, it would have gone a long way. Because we think we are still young in service. I believe from the day we enter the service, we should start preparing for retirement. It will give us a soft landing.
Everything is based on capital.
Capital. Okay, we can save towards that. We can save towards that. I agree with you. But little drops of water make a mighty ocean. You don't need all the money. Start thinking small.
What about when you spend 17 years and
You can.
17 years.
Yes.
I just have 10 years.
Yes.
Let me something that can help you.
Is a
Additional voluntary contribution. Even if it's 1,000, just leave it there.
From this little salary
1,000 naira a
1,000
month.
naira. Don't worry.
to the
Do you
PFA.
know how? Do you know how
Savings.
interest compound on your savings? You have no idea. It is the easiest way to double your contributions. ABC, just give a debit order to your employer, 1,000 naira. You know it's nothing, it won't add anything. Just drop it there. Till you retire and see what you do.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Makinde. Please, would like to welcome the director. imagine it in my mind, but this is the first time I just look at them. They are always in the same color, the same outfit. Anyway, after thinking about it, I just concluded that, okay, they are the same star sign. One is 12th of October, the other is 15th of October. So, they are twins. They always think alike. Please give them a big round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to, the DG, I'd like to invite the Executive Director of Finance and Investment, Mr. Wumi Walsh. Please come and help us.
And don't take this certificate with a joke. Don't treat it with levity. Go and place it. It is very, very important. Any certificate.
Adéyanjú Mosúnmọ́lá, we're getting ready. Òtúsànyà Hakeem Kúnlé. Ìdòwú Falsat Tóyìn, getting ready. Ìdòwú Falsat Tóyìn. Bùsọ́lá Ojúbọ̀wálé Williams. Táíwò Mùjídà Títílọlá. Abdulaziz Nazim Ọ̀ṣìnọ̀rẹ́lúwà. Ọ̀ṣìnọ̀rẹ́lúwà. Adébóyè Ọláyẹmí. Adéníkẹ́ Ọlárónkẹ́ Ayọ̀délé. Please, let's give them a round of applause here. Olúwayínká Adéníkẹ́. Olúwayínká Afọ̀apẹ́ Bàbá Dé Táíwò. Làwọn Àjọkẹ́ Mọ̀dínàt. Ọláyẹyẹ Olúbùnmi. Máfikúyọ̀mí Victoria. Akọ́ládé Adérónkẹ́ Olúṣọlá. Akọ́ládé Tẹ́wọ́gbadé Adébọlá.
Akọ́ládé.
Tẹ́wọ́gbadé. Paul Alaba Olúfúnṣọ́. Paul Alaba Olúfúnṣọ́. Adégbìtẹ́ Adétọ́lá. Ìṣọ̀lá Rísíkàt. Ìṣọ̀lá Rísíkàt. Múrí Okùnọlá Abdulrasheed. Hansen should be getting ready. Hansen, Onikepo. Lawal, Wahid, Raimo. Lawal. Adelaja, Oluwadamilola. Adeyemi, Adebowale. Okoyefa Kazeem, Dolapo. Amo Aminat, Ajoke. Okuola Olakunle Olugbega. Imam Mufuta Babatunde. Yakub Olayisola. Olayiwola Catherine. Ogunnaike Mobolaji. Bajulaye Zainab. Igurunke Olajumoke Top. Simeon Olatunde. Simeon Olatunde. Ibirunke Ajayi Bembe Latifat. Ajayi Bembe Latifat. Adéhùnmí Olóyèdé. Ọlátòkùnbọ̀ Ọlárúnkẹ́. Odúfisàn Bùkọ́lá. Odúfisàn Bùkọ́lá. Ṣófúrú Àmọ̀jí Sọlá. Okay. Ọ̀ṣìn Ọrẹ́lúwa. Ìdúrónkẹ́ Ọlájùmọ̀kẹ́ Top.
Ladies and gentlemen, so far so good. This is the time for feedback. Do you have any contribution, advice, addition, suggestion? The floor is open now.
Oh, well, let's do the group photograph, sir. Let's do group photograph, sir. We'll do it line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we have 5 lines. So first line, second one, third, this is the first line. And use this background. Okay. Second line, please.
Yes.
The fourth line.
probably is coming from the mainstream and probably has retired from the mainstream. At a particular period of time, he served in another institution, maybe within Lagos State. Now he's now asking that we pay his actuarial values for those periods. Can he initiate that request without Laspec inputs? I want to just ask.
What we will do is the person actually transfers service is to apportion the period that he worked in Laspec. Usually, if that information is contained in the file, we will do that. But there are some that, for one reason or the other, we will not have that information. We will only pay and schedule for what the person is due to that person during his or her service in the mainstream. However, that person can come to you and ask for it. You only would have to compute for the period that the person. So the retiree can initiate it. It's possible because we will not pay for the period that the person wasn't in the mainstream. So the person, a retiree can initiate it. But sometimes, if we have all the information in the file, we will compute and give the apportionment letter to the retiree.
To our clients in Lagos State, and having communicated to Laspec on the accruing pension benefits, the staff will always complain, how long do we want to assess this pension? Will it be up to 1 year or 6 months? As it depends on your documentation and everything. They will ask, is there any need to go to Laspec? In order to, I sent a lecturer. She retired and was stayed in England. She was asking for her pension account. I said, we've written letter to Laspec. We have given you letter of introduction. And I went to her PFA. Her PFA referred her to Laspec again. And she was complaining, Wala is too much. We have to go. I don't know what is next. Then secondly, the advice I want to give is, please, always try at all times to attend to our clients. Sometimes they come severally to come and ask for where their letter, when it was sent, and who received it. I said, oh, this is the evidence. We sent our dispatch order to do the needful, which they have done. They will now return the acknowledgement to us. So please just help us. We are doing our responsibility. I'm the desk pension officer. I always ensure that when it comes to retiree, I always kickstart their brief immediately, or they haven't signed the necessary clients, because they have to get the clients which they will take to all cooperatives. Like somebody was saying that who pays in case the retiree is a debtor in the organization. What we do is that as a lecturer who was dismissed on ground of certificate forgery, then he has not up till now collected his employee contribution because he owed ASU 721,000, which we told him go and look for that before we can kick start a brief. Thank you.
That the money is fully, or all funds are duly remitted, contributions are put right. So, or we pray for a better service. So, in any way that we have slowed down the process, we're saying very sorry and we would improve on it. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. My own is maybe suggestion or contribution, I don't know. This training that we organized for us is for us to acquire
that are not mentioned here are coming for marketing and the likes. Will you give us your advice as a Laspec to transact, to ask our staffs or to do business with them, or all right? So it has to be one of the approved ones. Again, one of the reasons why RSA requests are rejected is that if you go and request the transfer to a PFA that is not approved, they will reject it.
So it has to be one of the approved 16 PFA.
Very vital. You see, there is a new PFA that is springing up on campus now, on our campus. Their name is Laspec. Let me enlighten you. They're saying they fall out from NUC. All of them are drifting from harm. All the lecturers, they've convinced themselves they have to go and change your PFA to Laspec. Me, I won't go to tell them no.
Okay, so I see. So this is our own example of the competition sheet. This is what it looks like. You see the age, designation, your level at retirement, date of birth, and then this is where you have all the values for annual basic salary, annual pensionable allowance, your value of gratuity and all of that. And then you will see what is due to you. For parastatals, it's similar, but it is not the same. I've seen some competition sheet. It's just to have the basic details. You don't need to have all of this. It's just to have those key components, and then the value, the approved value will be there as well. So I think I've discussed this issue of clearance letter. So if any of your retiree exit the system, please send a letter. Ensure that the accrued right has been fully paid before you send in your letter, so that you do not have that back and forth. Because we keep sending the retirees back and forth. If you have paid 5 million, state it that you have paid 5 million. We have agencies who brought to the commission, oh, they've paid 5.4, and we discover it's 5.1. We will not issue clearance. And so that back and forth is not good for anyone. Ensure that that amount is fully remitted. If you are not sure, sometimes it is contributions. Ensure that it is there. Because we will also need to verify that you are fully paid. If you are not fully paid, we will not issue clearance. And so there's always that back and forth with this video and all of it. It is not necessary. And you don't need to know anyone. Once you do what is right, send in your letter, it will get done. You don't need to know anybody in that unit. Just do what you want to do, and the process would ensure that the person gets paid. And please, on your letter, some new agencies, like, if I remember properly, I can't remember, but some agencies, what they do is just issue just one letter. This person retired, no RSA, there's no way to verify. So the letter will be dumped there. It will just be dumped. We don't have any how to trace what you have sent to us. This person retired, please issue clearance. We just don't issue clearance. Those details must be there. It is best you ask the retiree to go to his or her PFA and get the statement and just attach it. It is easier and faster. So we can issue clearance as a when due. We verify payments, and upon confirmation, we will issue clearance letter to the PFA. Okay, this really, there are some retirees who had worked in other states prior to joining the service of any agency. You also need to apportion. On your compensation sheet, you need to also apportion for the other states that they worked. If they transfer their service to Lagos State, you need to apportion for them as well. If they do not transfer, then there is no need. All right, I think I'm done, but there's something I needed to pass across to us. For most agencies, the need for your retirees, telling them to go and meet so person, this person will help you. We already, Laspec is doing so much because we attend to all retirees in the Lagos State Civil Service. So that alone is a huge task. Please, I need to emphasize, do not send your retirees to us until you have done your part. So that we don't start calling you out, when we have trainings, or, the inspectorate team will come to you, or we'll keep writing you. We do not want it to get to such level. So if you have any question, please quickly ask them then.
Of the retiree, most duty is to read that letter. Sometimes the retiree will be disturbed that the people, if they have not received the letter, the people here will say, "Oh, won't give it to the retiree." So that kind of communication, I don't know, how do you manage it?
Okay. From us, we do not issue clearance letters to retirees. We issue directly to the PFAs. So once you have done your part, send in the letter, we will issue clearance and the PFA will come to pick themselves. We do not issue clearance letters to retirees. Okay, so there's no intermediary. Once you have that letter ready, send it here. We don't pick letters. We don't interfere in that process. Just send in your letters. Once we confirm payment, we will issue clearance and the PFA will call them to come pick their clearance letters. That's the way it works. Asking for us to issue clearance. It is not your responsibility to ask for LOA. You are not the one paying. Okay? So it is not your responsibility. And for agencies, it is also not our responsibility as Laspec to ask for LOA. Okay? So what we'll do is that if we confirm that all payments have been duly remitted, we will also issue clearance. The question of LOA will happen when they get to the PFA. That's their call. Okay? When they get there, they will deal with that issue. You just have to claim your part. If it is for a staff of the mainstream, that is where Laspec will start and say, where is your LOA? Do you understand? Because it means that we are issuing a retirement bond certificate to the beneficiary. We will stand there. Because if you do not have a letter or we don't know who you are really, and we're not your employer or the deceased employer, so we need to verify whoever we're releasing the certificate to. But more importantly, it is at the end of the PFA to deal with that issue. All right, we are just trying to safeguard and ensure that we're issuing the certificate to the right person. Okay, whatever happens after that is not our cup of tea. The first question, the accrued right is supposed to be for this period, okay, that the person worked with you. So it is not about salary as at 2007. This person worked when he joined Lagos State and then moved to Federal. Federal will only pay for that portion that the person actually worked with them, and they will use their salary scale as at that time. So why would you have to use 2007 for somebody who left 2001 or 4? Okay, I think that answers it.
Please on this case.
9 years. When she retired, she requested us to calculate her coin pension at the other place. I said it's not our duty, but we finally did it. When we got there, they told her that she is not entitled to anything and she's transferred her service. She had spent 9 years. If the law is if you have spent 5 years minimum, you can still have accrued something. But she spent 9 years and the letter was thrown apart. There another case. A woman retired from us, transferred from Ibadan Polytechnic. We have worked our own accrued pension and remitted it to our PIN number here. And she kept on disturbing us. the aspect of somebody said we should walk that of Ibadan. And Ibadan, Oyo State has not commenced PFA as I learned. So up to now, we've not done it. We just tell her to come to Laspec, and we have calculated our own and we have remitted it. And the last case, which is pathetic, a lecturer retired. He came in when the PFA started in 2008. He retired in November 2019. He completed his internal clearance. We are about to commence the writing of the bill to pay their full pension. He died. And the next of kin in his file is the second one, who is not legally married. The legally married one, when in light of his death, went to court. The public registrar wrote us to stay action until a letter of administration is sent to us before we can calculate. When we do not ask for a letter of administration, that's why I'm bringing that one in. Thank you.
What we tell our retirees who transfer service to Lagos State is that any state has its right to decide how they want to run it. We cannot compel any state to pay. And they also have their rules. Remember, I was explaining the defined, I didn't go into details about that defined benefit scheme because she worked for 9 years. If you were to be in Lagos State, you will only lose a portion, you will not lose everything. But in another state, they can say, we don't pay 9 years. So they are at liberty to decide how they run. We cannot compel any state. Okay? The second question about the person in Oyo State, whether they commence the contributory pension scheme is actually not your business. Just generate that compensation sheet for the person to say, because you transferred to Lagos State, and for this period of time you have spent there, this is what we think is due to you. The person will get there and they will say, we are only paying gratuity, we are not paying pension. That's their business. All right, I think I have just, then the last one, that is family drama. Okay? But legally, I mean, emotions is not involved in legal matters. The funny thing is that whoever presents the letter of administration and it is verified genuine, the PFA will pay.
That woman is the next of kin of that man. The second one.
Legal. Is it bad legally? Is there a will to support that? Is there a letter of administration? If not, see, if you are paying anything internally, if you are paying any sum internally, the name of the beneficiary with you is actually who you will call, right? But once it is out of your office, there's nothing you can do. And that's why we need also to sensitize our retirees or intending retirees. Please get a will. Save yourself this. Whoever has the death certificate can generate a letter of administration. It is, yes, last one.
NICOM. Our own responsibility as Laspec is like a supervisory role. Are we getting it? We make sure that our retirees under each of these insurance companies are well paid. They don't have any complaint because we are still giving them instruction one way or the other. NICOM is just the regulatory body, and the regulatory body usually serves like a protection. So any retiree that opts for annuity, their money is safe because NICOM is there to know what they are using their money for. Annuity is a regular pension payment that is made to a retiree for the rest of his or her life in return for payment of the premium. What that is telling us is that once a retiree says, well, I want to do annuity, they forward the balance in the RSA of that retiree, it is forwarded to the insurance company. In practice, how it runs is that once we give our retirees payments, terminal payments in form of bond certificates and from all our parastatals, once it is paid into their RSC, the PFA starts by paying their lump sum. When they apply for that, they want to access their money in their RSC. PFAs pay the lump sum. It is after the payment of that lump sum. We call it gratuity in those days, but it's no more gratuity. It's now called lump sum. It is after the payment of the lump sum, the balance in the RSC that they will now transfer into the insurance company, the desired insurance company of that retiree. The retiree now gets payment of the pension for life. Are we getting it? So that is what that is about. The premium, that amount of money that is the balance in the RSA is called premium. That is what we call premium. You are using that premium as like a purchase price of the annuity product. So when we just transfer that money, and that money transfer is what we refer to as premium. The option for annuity is backed up by section 7 subsection 1 sub B of the Pension Reform Act. It gives a retiree an option for payment through annuity that is life payment for and the payment is made to to the pensioner for the rest of their life. And it is a financial product that pays out a fixed guaranteed income as pension to a retiree for life. That is throughout the retiree's lifetime. What do we mean by fixed guaranteed income? What I mean by that is that once the retiree opts for annuity, the insurance company calculates how much the pension is to be collected by the retiree. It is upfront calculation. So, for instance, if they want to pay the retiree 50,000 naira every month till the retiree is no more, that is the meaning of retiree paying for life. What determines that calculation of the 50,000 naira? That 50,000 naira is not subject to any change. Why is it not subject to any change? Before that calculation is made, there are some variables that the insurance company usually take care of. One of such variables is the fact that number one, they are paying that retiree for life. And there is every opportunity or every possibility that that retiree outlives its premium. Remember, the premium is the purchasing price, that's the balance in the RSA. So it's possible that if they, for instance, if they pay the retiree 50,000 naira per month, let's say the average lifespan, they gave the retiree 30 years, that's their assumed lifespan. That would be like 600,000 times 3. That is 1.8 million. And the retiree's premium was just about 800,000 naira. So in that case, the retiree has outlived their premium that they put initially. So those are one of the factors that they must look at to determine how much they will pay. Another factor that will also be determined is the investment return by looking at the possibility of inflation in the future inflation. So when they decide that, okay, we want to pay retiree 50,000 naira. At that particular time, the 50,000 naira is not on the same productivity level. That is, they have looked, they will be able to look at a future possible inflation rate. Do you understand? So after that 30 years, if the retiree is still paying money, the money is still relevant to that economic situation at that time. So that is why there is no form of increment of pension. No, it doesn't work that way. But they've already looked at all that before they even set the cost of payments initially. So if the retiree still continues after 40 years and inflation comes in, the money will still fit into that inflation and economic situation. So it's a fixed guaranteed sum. It's not like the program withdrawal where you have a review. They don't review. It's a flat rate, it's a fixed payment for the rest of the retiree's life. A retiree under the annuity payment with an insurance company is generally referred to as an annuitant. That is what we call the professional loan. So we talk about the guaranteed period. Yes, what is annuity? Annuity is payment for life. We pay, once they see those retirees, that's what they usually tell them. Yes, we will pay you for the rest of our lives. Oh, beautiful, we'll pay you this amount. Oh, wonderful. And I told you that in determining that particular amount of payment that they will be paying them is usually slightly higher than that of the PFA. I've told you the reason why. Because they have considered a lot of factors that can affect the future. But PFA will not do that. They pay according to their returns. Do you understand? But they have already forecast increments as a result of inflation, and all that's why their money is slightly more. So when they do that payment, and they've seen that it's possible for somebody to outgrow his money, but you also know that, you know, insurance companies deal with risk. They are the only ones that carry the risk. All these risks I'm talking about, the inflation risk, the risk that the retiree can outlive their money, and the economic risk. You know, you can invest your money today and you won't see returns on the investment. There are sometimes you have good returns of investment. So it's the insurance company that is single-handedly taking on all those risks. That is why they now look at it. It's possible for one to say that a retiree will live for 50 years more from the point of signing the annuity program. And the retiree lives, unfortunately, 5 months. So what happens? Does it mean that the retiree's money is out? No. What means that is why we have the guaranteed period. The law allows them that they are guaranteed for the period of 10 years. What is the meaning of guaranteed period of 10 years? If a retiree starts collecting pension payment from the insurance company for between 10 years, and unfortunately the retiree dies, the guaranteed period comes to play for the beneficiaries. Are we getting what I'm saying? The beneficiary is entitled to the balance of the 10 years payment of pension. That is the meaning of guaranteed period. Let me explain in another way. If the retiree dies, for instance, 5 years after collecting pension from the insurance company, the balance of the 5 years pension is paid to the beneficiary of that retiree. Beneficiary means that the person that the retiree writes that is as the next of kin, that is liable to collect whatever that is in our estate of that, with that insurance company. So that beneficiary is entitled to the balance of that 10 years. So if the retiree dies 8 years after signing annuity, the beneficiary will be given 2 years of the pension payment. But if the retiree dies after 10 years, even a day after 10 years, the beneficiary will not be entitled to anything. Why do we have this? This is because I told you that the risk, this longevity risk, you know that a retiree can live for 50, 100 years more. Another retiree can live for not up to that years. It's a pool of funds, and so because it is that, they will continue the payment. But irrespective of the number of years that a retiree lives, retiree will be paid for life. So if the retiree lives 200 years, 150 years, the agreement is that the retiree must be paid until the retiree. Do you understand? So this guaranteed period only comes in situation of succession of the balance with the insurance company. What is the mode of operation of of insurance company? They run as a pool of fund. From the chart on the screen, you'll be able to see. Again, it's a simple explanation for their mode of operation. They operate as a pool of fund. What's the meaning of pool of fund? Let's say there are 4 annuitants. Those are the retirees that opt for annuity. Annuitant A, annuitant B, annuitant C, and D. They have opted to move with the insurance company to pay them for the rest of their lives. So the money they bring in as premium, which I told you is their balance in their RSA after the payment of the lump sum with the PFA, is transferred into the insurance company's purview. So the investment portfolio, all of them are merged together in investment. So, for instance, in a particular month, they have 30 retirees coming. Everybody's money as premium is invested together. Returns come in together. But we must also note the fact that I told you that the risk involved in insurance payment is strictly done by the insurance company. So they are investing the money together, they are carrying the risk together. And where everybody that does business, everybody wants to profit. Nobody wants to lose business. So the retiree is well assured that his investment is in good mood. Whether it's even in good mood or not in good mood, the most important thing is that the annuity service provider has signed that is going to pay me for the rest of my years. So the liability is on that insurance company to fulfill that purpose. So the insurance company too will be striving to make sure that they don't lose. That is why they carry the liability on their head. Are we getting it? So whether the retiree whether there is a return on investment from the insurance company or there is no return on investment for the insurance company, it is not really the retiree's business. It is the insurance companies that are carrying the risk. And this is because of their mode of operation. And the annuity can be paid monthly and it can be paid quarterly, depending on what the annuitant wants. The fact that somebody is paid monthly does not mean that the money will be more than that paid quarterly. The only thing is that they will just calculate it in 3 months and they will pay some in 3 months and they will pay some monthly. It's just a preference for the retiree. So what are the documentation that they use in processing the life annuity with insurance company? One of the most important documents is the annuity proposal form. What is contained in the annuity proposal form? How it happens, how it works is that once a retiree comes in that he wants to take up annuity, after the bond payment has been made inside the RSM, they will go to this their PFAs to collect a fresh statement of account. When they collect the fresh statement of account, they submit a copy with the intending annuity company they want to work with, insurance company they want to work with. It is that statement of account that they will now use to determine what the pension is going to be monthly. And I've told you the variables that they consider to determine how much that they will be paying the person. Then, of course, they need the birth certificate or the declaration of age. They need the retirement letter because the annuity service is only for retirees. The gender of the retiree also comes to play in determining how much will be the pension that they will be paying the retiree. Actuarial evaluation has said it that women live longer than men, so therefore they will need more money. But it's just a slight difference. So those are the things they use. Then the retiree's last payslip. The payslips are used to determine, according to the law, pension law, a retiree is supposed to have nothing less than 50% of your basic rent and transport. So it is that payslip, any of the last payslips, that they will use to determine that value, to make sure that the money that they are paying is adequate. Because all these things, they are subject to the approval of PENCOM, and NICOM is regulating them. So there can't be any form of reduction in payment in any form. Then the provisional, there's a provisional agreement form that is also filled by the retiree and is submitted to the PFA. So upon the approval with the PFA pays the lump sum and forwards the balance to the insurance company, which they use as premium for the payment of insurance. There are actually 7 insurance companies that are registered with Lagos State Government. They are ARM Life, Midway Assurance, Aiko Insurance, First Bank of Nigeria Insurance, and Custodian. The balance is the Laspec and the African Alliance. I separated Laspec and African Alliance because as at now, presently, they are no more taking in new annuitants. They are no more taking new people that wants to take annuity for now. And is subsequently, subsequently they can decide to come up again. But we have some retirees that are already with them. So they are still under our purview because we go there for investigation to ensure that our retirees are properly dealt with. Then also coming on board to is Stanbic Insurance. They will be, it doesn't mean these are the people that will only be, as they add their interest, they show their interest in Lagos State and they add them after taking enough requirements that we take from them. Then let's talk about the succession of estates in of an annuitant in case of death. The provision of the Insurance Act by Section 57 provides that payment is made directly to the identified beneficiaries without the need of a will or a letter of administration. We talked about the guaranteed period of 10 years. This is where it comes to play. On the proposal form of the annuity proposal form that they issue retirees, there is a portion that the retiree writes who they want their beneficiary to be in case of death. And once they write it in black and white, we usually call that like a mini will. That's what we call it legally, like a mini will. It is not a will stricto sensu, but it is giving direction. It is giving direction to who and who are entitled to the balance of any benefit, if there is any, for the retiree. So they usually write, okay, put once I die, pay Abimbola Kintayo. You can even put your percentage you want. In a situation whereby the beneficiaries are more than one, so you can put the percentage, a child 30%, another child 20%, a child 50%. So what they do is that once the retiree dies, and they check the date of application of the annuity plan of the retiree. Once the retiree has any amount of money within the 10 years guaranteed period, they will just call and pay it off without the need of a will or letter of administration. So it is now on the liability of the insurance company to ensure that the instructions of the retiree is strictly followed. It is easier, unlike that of the PFU, where you have to have a letter of administration or a will. This one is like a mini will, and they know about it. They are aware of it. The passport and information of the beneficiary. So in conclusion, what are the keynotes of everything we'll be talking about? That once we hear insurance, the most important thing is that the retiree is paid for the rest of their life, as long as the retiree lives. The retiree is guaranteed for a period of 10 years. I've explained that 10 years to us. And if the retiree outlives, the money is paid for as long as that retiree lives, 200, 150 years. God give everybody long life. Then the specific number of annuity service providers that exist in Lagos State. What we usually see is that we have some retirees that will tell us that their children are working with a particular insurance company that is not under Lagos State. We allow them if they insist. The only thing we do is that we write. They will have to write an undertaking with us. And if anything happens to their fund, they will be on their own. Then Laspec is always available to ensure that there is any complaint with any ASP signed with Lagos State is duly attended to. So retirees don't have to worry that their money is going to finish or something will happen. Nothing can actually happen to their money. Then that the retirees is safe with any ASP as they are duly regulated by NICOM. Thank you very much.
Let's give them a round of applause. We will be going to the next session now. We'll quickly go into presentation of certificates, and the Director General is going to present to just one participant. When the able lieutenant will continue with the rest of the presentation. So let's welcome you to
evaluation for approval, then compilation for payment and processing of retirees' pension satisfaction. As you all know, Laspec, we process retirees' benefits, that's accrued rights. That is from inception, whenever the person started working, till 2007, till 31st of March 2007. We process that. Then also, we give clearance letters for those that started work 1st of April 2007 till whenever also. So the schedule of duties, that is how the process of how we process the retirees' documents. First of all, what happens is we receive files from various ministries, departments, and agencies through our registry department. After we receive that, we determine the retirees' grade level and step as at 31st March 2007 through salary discussion. So we have an independent. So how do we process? So how do we get the salary grade level, the exact and correct salary grade level and step of each retiree as at 2007? We get some certain documents, and then we'll calculate the grade level and step. But that you will understand that as we go on. Then after that, we enter retirees' records for valuation, and that is done by our private consultant, that is Vanara. And then after that, we have computation of retirees' personal and service records with valuation obtained from the consultant. Listing and forwarding of treated files to the Office of the State Auditor General for verification and certification. And then feedback, that is, the Auditor General sends back the files either with approval or with query. So those for approval moves to payment, and those for query, we correct the query and then send it back to the Auditor General, and then they now certify it that okay, everything is fine, and then send it back to us for approval, and then we move it next to payment. Then we respond to inquiries and complaints on pension matters from our retirees also. The necessary documents for a successful process. We have the Laspec form. The Laspec form has the name, there's passport, there's a place for your passport photograph also, your Oracle number, we have where you worked, and then there's a place also where you worked from when you started service to when you retired is there. What else? Your grade level and step as at 2007, your grade level and step as at retirement, and some other information. Then we have your appointment letter. Appointment letter is actually very important also when we are trying to process your retirement. Sorry, help me. Your retirement benefits. Thank you very much. So, because that's where we have to calculate from. That is when you started work. Also, we have assumption of duty certificates, because it states when you started work exactly. You know, some people, you get your letter of appointment separate from the date you start. They were single, so we need proof to back it up, and also your change of name. So the letter of transfer. Some people transferred their service probably from another state to Lagos State, or some people transfer their service probably from local government to the state, like that. We need that document also. Then your record of service from various schools, or your record of service from wherever you've been working. We will need your record of service also. Then that's what we call, I think we call it Ashobura. Sorry. You know the spreadsheet, the blue, yes, they call it, yes, Ashobura, yes, record of service. So confirmation of record of service for people that, for example, for people that work in a secondary school, each school will provide a record of service. So it varies from MDAs and agencies to agencies, but we need a confirmation also. Then notification of retirement. then acknowledged approval letter of retirement, then your accurate salary progression. That's what we will do here with your, what we need basically when we want to try and calculate your salary progression, your pay slips, and then we need your promotion letters. Your promotion letters are actually very vital in calculating your grade level and step as of 2007. Then your letters of non-indebtedness, that is from cooperative, that is from cooperative, housing, car refurbishment, and then confirmation of non-indebtedness from, for secondary school, confirmation of non-indebtedness from district and Lagos State government. Then we also have your PFA welcome letter and PFA statement of account from inception till date. Then your salary bank statement of account from 3 months before retirement till date. Then your last 3 pay slips. Then for those that